Ryan McAllister, Sam McCue, Mason Manzavrakis. Here today, guys, we're going to be talking a little bit about their careers in hockey. Ryan has been drafted by the Florida Panthers. Sam plays for the Owen Sound Attack and has a tryout with Pittsburgh at their identification camp, right?
Yep.
Coming up in a month. Ryan's been a client of ours for, this is the second year coming in now, and we've been fortunate enough to work with your brother Max, who you guys like resemble like almost identical right now. So pleasure to have you guys on the show, guys. It's a blast in the gym so far up until this point.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah,
thank you.
for
Appreciate
sure.
it.
So anyway, I just want to kind of get started a little bit. I'm going to ask you guys some questions about your hockey careers and stuff. And before today, we were going to have just Ryan on, but Sam was at the gym, so I thought, he got an interesting story too. But Ryan's story is an amazing story. Like, I've never heard anything like this one before. So you guys tuning in are going to be kind of shocked and I think appreciate hockey a little bit better and not being worried about being drafted all the time and being that guy. So Ryan, just kind of looking back at your hockey career, starting as a young age, were you playing AAA from the beginning, or how did that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, from the start, I played AAA as a young kid, pretty much from year one, minor Adam it used to be called, and from then until I think Major Pee Wee, I played AAA. I got cut in Major Pee Wee because I wasn't the biggest guy; I was pretty small. And,
What kind of weight were we talking about?
I mean, I think I was hitting maybe 120 pounds.
You're a lightweight.
I was really small, 5'2", small little guy.
But still skilled, or
still,
what?
yeah, still had all the skill, but I mean, just I was told I was too small at tryouts and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a big shock for me to be on the AAA team with all those friends that I grew up with, and to be cut at that time. It was a lot for me, but talked to my parents about it, and I was just like, I'm just gonna go play a couple of years of AA and stick with it and see what happens from there. And at the end of the day, it worked out for me.
So you didn't lose any desire at that point. You still wanted to go prove yourself.
No, I think it definitely helped. I went down to AA and I ended up having 2 really good seasons. And I know I was young, but Major Pee Wee, and I think the next year minor band. I played AA those 2 years, and I was like one of the best players on the AA team, scoring a couple points every night in AA. It was fun. Kind of developed a love for the game again to score points and just be the guy on the team, so it was fun.
For sure. And then, was your dad coaching at that time at all, or were you under just regular coaching system in London Junior Knights?
Yeah, no, I played for the Junior Knights. My dad never coached me in the Junior Knights. Obviously, he coached me in spring hockey tournaments and stuff. Yeah. That's super different, but no, I never had a parent coach. Just grinded through it pretty much.
And did you have were people or parents going I can't believe the guy got cut, or nobody really said anything?
It was a little bit of both. Obviously, there's cliques in minor hockey still going on today, but yeah, it was kind of like that. But there was some that were confused and some that didn't really care. So
so you were at the even minor Pee Wee level. You were scoring a lot of goals and getting points. So this is something you were doing right from the beginning.
Yeah, I was on that really stacked 01 minor hockey team.
Oh yeah, that was Suzuki and those guys.
Yeah, right? So we were really good. The whole time I was playing minor hockey, that team was stacked, and I was thankful to be a part of it as a young kid, but yeah, it was different for sure once I got cut. Yeah,
and we're going to lead, in a minute we're going to get back to lead down the path that you've been going on right now, but I wanted to kind of just switch over to Sammy over here. So Sam, we had your brother on here a little while back. Both you guys, same thing from Sudbury, played minor hockey, AAA all the way up?
Yeah, no, all the way up until I left the minor midget to go play in Barrie, but COVID kind of ended that pretty quickly in December. But
were you one of those guys who got affected in the COVID?
Yeah, we lost. We didn't have a whole season. We had a Carnival League in Toronto during the summer.
Yeah.
Leading into a little bit of September, but we just played games against the U18 team in Barrie, and the scouts would come watch that and stuff. But we didn't.
So why Barrie? Why did you head that way? Why not Sudbury?
More exposure down in Barrie, but they would make me and Alex Browdy plays in Sudbury.
Yeah.
We went down to Barrie and we got kind of already a spot on that team, so we had a really good team if we had a season that year, but
so they recruit those teams like Barrie. They recruit Toronto teams, because I know they were after Mason when he was younger, like Vaughan Kings and junior Canadians.
The whole GTHL thing.
They're all the whole G's. Are they like that? Because Barry's seems to be pretty successful every year. Like they got a good team.
Yeah. Usually they recruit. Wow, it's cut.
No, don't worry about it. It's all good.
Usually they recruit like before the summer, even the season begins.
Yeah.
So.
And Ryan, did you ever have like? I guess you wouldn't have had teams calling you if you were playing AA, right?
Yeah, I mean
from Toronto and that, or
when I got cut from my first year getting cut, obviously like we were looking at where to go, like either Elgin, like the Chiefs, or like we were thinking about like moving to Toronto. But you know when you're that age, like obviously parents are crazy and stuff like that. So my parents were thinking about it, and at the end of the day, I was just like, I don't want to.
We did it, right, nice. We did
I
it.
I don't want to play in the GTHL when I'm
no.
like 14.
No. And the other thing too is like just kind of having experience going there, with Mason. There's a lot of promises that are made.
Yeah,
you never know if they get fulfilled.
Sure.
There's guys with a lot of money down there, and it's a different animal than it is in the Alliance or like Sudbury, right? Small town. There's
two teams like for me.
Right?
I was in Vaughan.
Vaughan Kings.
Yeah. And you guys did pretty good. You had a lot of good players.
There's a lot of good guys on that team.
So we had. I'm gonna tell you. I had not said this on the mic yet, as of yet, but when we played there, we had a guy, and I won't mention any names, but he is a very wealthy guy, and he had a son that was going to play in that team, and so the Hill Academy was $40,000 a year for each player for the season to go to, and the registration fees were like $10,000 to $12,000 a guy. That's what it is in the GTHL. It might be even more now. I don't know because we're talking 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. He paid for 10 players to go to the Hill Academy and paid for all the registration fees. So what they can do there is they can take a guy, let's say if Ryan's a multi-millionaire and he wants to buy the team for the season or rent the team. He goes, he pays a fee to the guy, the Chickalinis, let's say they own the Vaughan Kings, and it happens in all the organizations. I want that team. They do an interview process to see if you're not, you can do it or not. And then he attains that team. He collects all the monies. He does. I'm sure there's certain rules and guidelines, but yeah. So do the math there. It's like $500,000 to play, and I'm not lying. I'm being dead straight.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. And we were in parking lots with this guy in hotel rooms, and this guy was smoking $400 cigars and handing them out to people like they were nothing. And Mace, you were inside that gentleman's house.
Oh, it's massive.
Tell him about the house. What it was like. The garage downstairs, the 10,000 square foot.
It was being built, but it was like an underground spiral all the way to elevators to every room. Bunker, big rink in the basement.
Wow,
that's crazy. He had cars for his communion. The dad bought him a Ferrari.
Wow.
So the kid was 15 years old at his communion. So anyway, but regardless of that, so Ryan, I'm gonna kind of flip back here.
Yeah.
You hit major midget. You were playing. Minor midget. You were playing AAA.
Double A, yeah.
Double A.
My draft year, I ended up playing Double A. Obviously, didn't get drafted in minor midget, and then played a year of major midget. I was even nervous to go to those tryouts because I was like, all right, this is kind of it. If I don't make it here, then I'm.
Were you stressed out about it?
Yeah, super stressed out for major midget tryouts. So I went, ended up making the team. I started out as the 10th forward, I think, and then just kind of had to grind again. I had to make my way up the lineup. And at the end of the year, I got hurt mid-year. I broke my collarbone. I had a really good start. I had a goal a game, over 2 points a game or something like that it was. But I broke my collarbone and that really set me back too. And I was so upset about it. And then I came back and obviously it was tough at the start because you're scared to get hit, scared to get hurt again. But it's kind of I was whatever. If I get hurt again, I get hurt again. So I'm just gonna try to play the same way. And then.
Were you a little bigger at this time? Were you?
No, I was still 5'8", maybe. Still hadn't grown fully.
Yeah.
And then I finished the year with 25 goals, 25 games, and then whatever assists I had. But I ended up getting drafted in the midget drafts, second round midget drafts, to Sudbury, and then went to camp there and had an okay camp. They didn't really offer to sign me or anything at that time. But, and then just went to play year junior B.
Year junior B, and you're played junior B or junior A, anything like that before OHL?
A little bit. When I got drafted in Peterborough, I wasn't at an RA camp, but they wanted to keep me down there. They had a U18 program, play major midget there and practice with the team every day and work out with the team every day. But it was like without playing games, I guess. And then left that after my year. Ended with U18 and went to go play in the Noge. Played
The Noge. Yeah. That's
The Noge.
where is that? That's like
That's like
all over Northern
yeah,
Ontario.
Northern Ontario.
Northern
They got
Ontario.
teams
Like
starters.
Kapuskasing, or not Kapuskasing, even further, Hearst, and like Pulaski and
Yeah.
so. What's that league rated like? Like I've you know, a lot of guys say this junior league's not that good. Is this, you know, like the AJHL or
Yeah.
the BCHL? What were you guys? You were in the AJ, right? When you were Brooks.
Yeah, I started in the BC and then I got traded to the AJ.
Right. So they say these leagues are a little weaker, but I watched Mason. He was playing in some league up in Red Lake, that junior A league.
Yeah.
And I'm watching him going, the first couple games are kind of slow, get going. I'm going, holy shit, man, there's good players everywhere. Like, really good players.
A lot.
Is that league like known for its quality of players, like bringing guys in the OHL, or would it be other like leagues like Toronto or like AJ, BCHL, or guys heading to college, I guess, right?
Yeah.
They're heading that way, right?
I think like the BC and AJHL would send more guys to like colleges and universities and stuff like that for hockey, but like more like OJ, Node, coming out for your OA season, playing, just finding a team, junior A, going to the OJ or the OJ or whatever. But yeah, I just think I don't think the Node really sends players to the OHL or college or anything.
Right.
But
So
I think
they-
like D3, but
You did well enough, obviously, to catch Peterborough's eye.
yeah, I played like 15 games including playoffs because it was near the end of the season, and then went to camp and made it out of camp.
Was it a points thing? Were you a guy like, because Ryan's like a points guy, like were you a points guy?
No, like in U18, like major midget, I had like 15 points in 30 games.
So not bad. So what was it, your style of play that like kind of got you looked at?
Just came to camp and just battled and hit everyone and
Yeah.
whatever. And
Yeah, work ethic.
Play like
Yeah.
your brother a little bit?
yeah, I tried fighting a guy. But had a cage on, so it didn't really work out or anything.
It's
but-
funny, like listening this morning, we were talking about, you know, fighting, just kind of like asking a guy on the ice to fight like nonchalant, right? Hey, you want to go? Like it's kind of that's what goes on out there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've never had like a square off fight. I've been jumped and jumped someone, so
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, this year's.
But I know what a punch feels like in the face now, so
It feels the
I
face.
guess.
I know. So and then Ryan, so then you ended up. This is where I kind of like. This is amazing. You haven't heard this story yet, so we're gonna kind of lead into how Ryan started to get noticed and really picked up his game. And Mason would always skate with Ryan in the summertime and stuff, and he'd come home and say, "Holy shit, you gotta see this guy like play."
I've known Ryan for
Oh yeah.
like since like
Yeah.
13, 12.
Well, you initiated the conversation to kind of
Yeah.
try to get him when we were
Yeah.
trying to.
Well, me and Ryan used to hang out in the summer.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. So he goes the Kamoka Kings, which is
Yeah.
our junior B league around here, to go JHL, and I let Ryan kind of take it from there.
Yeah, so I actually like after my major midget year, I was playing in London, so I was like, oh, I want to sign with the Nats. So I signed with the Nats, and then back then, I'm not sure if it's the same now, but like they had a bunch of like 20-year-olds. They were maxed out on all these 20-year-olds that used to play in the OHL. That
Yeah,
came
Max
back.
Vinogradov.
Yeah. So those guys.
Yeah.
So then at that time, I was like fourth line, third line, like not getting too much ice time on that team. So I was like 18, and then Pat Powers was the coach at the time. He calls me in. He's like, hey, listen, there's a trade offer for you. Like, I won't send you if you don't want to go. So like, good guy move on him. Like, I was a young guy.
He's a good dude.
I was a young guy. I was like coming out of major midget, signed with him. Like, picked his team over everyone. So like, good for him to ask me if I wanted to go.
Yeah.
So at that time, I didn't know. I ended up having my advisor at the time was Chad Liley, works at A1. He's like pretty big now, works with a lot of guys, but I was like talking to him about it, and he's like, yeah, I don't think it'd be a bad thing. And obviously, like, talked to my parents, and I was like, oh, what do you think about Kamoka? And then they were like, well, like, you got a bunch of friends on that team, like, they're your age, younger. Obviously, they're not gonna be as good, but you'll play more. So
Get ice.
I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So ended up getting traded to Kamoka, and then was definitely a shock because like our first road trip, it was like we took a school bus to like Chatham or something. Was like my first game, and I was like, wow, like this is so different. Like I don't think they take school buses anymore.
Oh yeah.
That was at the time they were taking a school bus.
Brantford.
I was in Brantford. They were
yeah.
taking
Yeah.
a disabled.
But
It was a short bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, yeah. So my first game, they put me like right on the first line right away. So I was like, wow, like, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
First line, first.
So
power.
they saw something.
Yeah. I mean, like they were talking to me before, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna sign with the Nats, and then
Right.
they
When you started to pick it up there. Like,
Yeah,
you
that
started
was
to
when
get-
I really like I had 18 points in 18 games in Kamoka.
Okay, so you're getting a point a game.
Awesome, yeah.
And you're how old right now?
I was fresh 18.
Yeah,
just
18.
turned 18. Okay. And then my advisor, Chad, ended up reaching out to Prince George, the Spruce Kings in the BCHL. They were like really good the year before, so like they went all the way to the BCHL versus AJHL final. It's funny because they actually were playing Brooks at the time.
Wow.
Would
Brooks
end up
won,
getting
right?
traded to.
Yeah.
Brooks won that game, but no, I visited Prince George. Like it was definitely like a grittier town.
So he must have had a connection there.
He knew the coach or something, so he called him. Like, hey, I got this kid in Kamoka. Like, take a look. And then actually in Kamoka, I ended up getting committed to Western Michigan out of Junior B, which was like
From Kamoka?
crazy.
No way. So you already had an offer at that point.
Yeah, I was committed before I went to the BCHL.
So this is where I was kind of getting back, and
Yeah.
not to cut you off for a bit, but where guys, if you end up proving yourself, they're gonna find you.
They'll
right?
find you. I mean, like, my advisor, I can't thank him enough. I mean, what he did was, like, he knew the coach at Western Michigan at the time. It was Dave Shyak, that was his name. And he's like, hey, like, come watch this kid in Kamoka. Like, just come see a couple games. So he ended up coming down. He watched me, I think, like 3 games, and he's like, okay, like this kid, I see something in him, and he offered me to go to Western Michigan. I was like,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I'll take it. It's my first
But
offer.
were you were considering that? You were considering OHL?
Yeah, I mean, I was considering OHL at that time, so I didn't really know much about college hockey. And I was like,
Yeah,
obviously, every kid being from Ontario like, wants to play in the OHL.
for
so
sure.
And you went to Sudbury's camp twice.
Sudbury's camp, twice,
Yeah.
and I like really thought about it. And then after I had a good year in Kamoka, they were like, hey, like, do you want to like play a playoff game or play something? And I was like, maybe.
Like where? Like playoff game where?
Sudbury. Like in
Sudbury.
Sudbury, yeah.
Oh, okay,
so I
yeah,
would have
yeah.
lost like my
Yeah.
NCAA thing at the time, but I was like,
You're smart about it.
Yeah, and I talked to my advisor, and he's like, I think you should commit to Western Michigan. I was like, okay. I looked it all up, and I was like, it was my only offer at the time, so I was like, I'll
So
take it.
you committed from Kamoka, not from
Yeah,
Brooks?
from Kamoka.
Okay, I thought you committed from Brooks.
So I was committed when I was like 17, 18.
So what does a commitment entail? Is it, if they say we want you,
Yeah.
and then let's say you don't play well the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
year, can they take it
They
away?
can take it away, yeah.
So you're on the hook, like you have to
Yeah,
play.
yeah. I'll get into that. I was almost on the hook
Okay,
too. It's
okay.
funny. But no, I was so committed out of Kamoka, and then ended up going to Prince George. And it was okay. Rough start for me in junior. Something very different, moving away from home at that young. But yeah, and then got traded to Brooks in my first year, and then got a lot of ice time in Brooks. Like was doing good.
Kind of points were we talking there, like same thing?
I was like a point a game.
Point a game.
Point a game as a rookie in the AJ.
Which is
Wait
which
till you
is,
hear in a minute how many points this guy gets at the end. I
No,
just,
and then my second year in Brooks, it was the COVID year, so it was like kind of weird. And
Right.
I don't know, that was tough. We had like a really good team, and I wasn't playing that much. Didn't have a good year, so I was like
Frustrated?
all right, what's going on? Like, I was even like, I remember I was on the bus. I was like, man, like Western Michigan's gonna like decommit me. I was like thinking it too. I was like, wow, like I might get decommitted here, because like I don't know, I had 5 points in like 20 games.
so
And I
the
was like,
piece of
this-
paper means basically nothing.
there is no paper.
not
It's
until
verbal.
you sign your
Yeah.
NIL or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I can't
NIL.
remember the name. NIL's
The actual
NIL's
contract.
money, yeah.
Right.
but-
For
It
them
was,
to
it was
commit.
called something
Yeah.
that you had to like sign to like make sure you're going, but it was verbal at that time. So I was like, oh
Mm-hmm.
no, like
Full ride.
yeah, it was no, it wasn't full ride at the time. It was like a 75-80%. So I was like, it's still pretty good.
Well,
It
yeah, we're
wasn't-
still really good.
wasn't that much. It's not the most expensive school, so I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. But and then came back to my 20-year-old year, and I was like, all right, like this is the year. Like I gotta do something here. And then didn't really expect what I did, but I came into camp and I was like trying to be like a leader and stuff, and then ended up being named like assistant captain. So that gave me like a lot of confidence and stuff like that. So. And then, yeah, the start of the year had like 11 points in 4 games in the preseason.
So this is the year you had like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
180. This is what I heard. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
yeah. So the preseason, I was like, I played with 2 really good players. TJ Hughes, he's down at Michigan. He'll sign in the NHL next year. And then Devin Phillips plays D1 at Holy Cross. So like we just really gelled together as a line like so well. Preseason, I had like 11 in 4 games, and I was like, oh man, like, that sucks that this isn't the start of the season. I was like, this really sucks.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to do it all over again. Like,
Yeah.
So I wasn't even like as confident as I am now, like, as I was in myself at that time. So obviously coming off like a shitty year, I was like,
Because guys think about that. They go, oh my God, I'm ripping up preseason, but I
Yeah.
gotta do it again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
There's a
so
lot
I
of
was
pressure.
in my head a little bit, and then yeah, our first game of the year, we beat an expansion team for the AJ 17-0.
Wow.
We beat them 17-0.
Holy smokes, man.
I had like 2 goals and an assist. And I was obviously like feeling great. And then from there on, it was just like I was just getting 2 points a night. Like obviously we had a sick team. Like I was
Like you guys, did they keep that line together the whole year? Didn't change anything.
Didn't change the line once. Like us three. Well, Phillips got hurt. And we added like a bunch of guys, but TJ scored like 70 goals that year.
How many goals did you get?
I got 57 goals.
And how many, so what I heard, this number that I'm getting is from regular season to playoffs, because you guys went all the way, right?
Yeah.
How many points? 180, 160?
Well, it was
ridiculous.
139
Wow.
in the regular season in like 60 games, and then in the playoffs I think I had like 36
I know.
36 points in like 17 playoff games or something like that, and then the tournament I had 18 points in 6 games.
Did you guys win it?
Yeah, we won the whole thing.
You won the whole thing.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like
Hold on,
that ring?
let me just hold on. Let me just pull
I
my
was watching that.
calculator out
Oh, they played in the finals.
My God, that game was crazy.
here. Ryan, say those numbers again.
I had 139, and then
Yeah.
like 37, and then 18.
Pickering Panthers game.
Oh yeah.
The goalie was standing on his head the whole game. It was like a 1-0 game. It was a 0-0 game for like.
Was that?
We can't zoom in here, but that's 194
But
points.
it even gets better. This gets ridiculous. So that's your 08 year, 20 year
That's
old?
my 20-year-old year in the
So now, have you signed with Western Michigan yet, or no?
Yeah, so at that time I signed my whatever it was to make sure that I was going there. But yeah, it was
On paper this time.
on paper that
Yeah.
time. So I was like officially going to Western Michigan the next year. So like that made me feel better too. I was like, okay, like I know where I'm going. But funny, he said that he was watching that final game. So
Who,
we
you
beat-
were?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy Pickering. It was crazy.
So
That's nuts.
Pickering, we played them in the round robin. We beat them like 9-1. So we smoked them. So and like we're like chirping their goalie, like we're just like,
That-
let him here. 'Cause he got pulled. He actually was playing in the OHL like the year before. And then he got pulled, and we were like, let him hear it. And then he's like, all right, well, I'll see you guys in the finals. And we were like, all right, sure, like whatever.
Did they beat you guys?
And he met us in the finals, man. And I tell you what they did. They were like, smartest thing their coach could have done. He's like, all right, the chances of us beating this team,
Next to 9.
we're not gonna beat them
Yeah.
if we play normal. They're like, all right, we're gonna score the first goal, and we're just gonna trap it up the whole time. Like they're like, we're literally gonna sit 5 guys in the slot and rely on our goalie. So they score first.
Shit.
And if you watch the video, like they score first and they go nuts, like their whole team. They go nuts because they know what's coming.
They're gonna do this whole
And
thing.
we don't know. We have no idea. So as soon as they score, we like win the draw, get in their zone, 5 guys just sitting in the slot. So like I think we had like 55 shots or something. We hadn't scored at this point. We're like, what's going on? It's
So
1-0.
period 1 goes by.
Goes by.
nothing.
No goals. Period 2 goes by. I miss like an open net. Like Bookman, sick player, playing at Merrimack right now. He'll also sign. He's like this. He fires it backdoor. Sick pass. I didn't even expect it. Get it? Like bobbles off my stick, and the goalie like robs me, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like second period goes by, still 1-0 them. I get like interviewed by like TSN or something. They're like, well, like what's going on? Like, are you guys nervous? And like at the time I was so nervous, but then in the interview I was like, no, we're not worried. We're gonna score. And then 10 minutes goes by in the third. We still haven't scored. We're down 1-0. This is like our team has lost like 4 games all
So
year.
it's working. With
Oh, it's working.
Yeah.
It's working. We're peppering their goalie. He's standing on his head. So it's like he
But
wants
the
to-
quality of shots are not there.
They're not amazing. They're from the outside. Like we hit a bunch of posts. Like it was bad. I think I had like 13 shots that game. I was just shooting everything. And then so it's 1-0. 10 minutes left, and we're like, fuck. Sorry.
Yeah,
We're
don't
like
worry
shit.
about it.
Like what's going on here? And then we end up scoring with like 9 minutes left. It wasn't even like our top line. It was like our second or third line scored, and we're like, okay, like
That's what
they're
we
done.
need right
We're like,
there.
we needed
Yeah,
1 goal.
yeah,
They're
to get
done.
the ball rolling.
And then as soon as we scored 1, right off the next draw, they put my line out. We score 5 seconds off the draw.
Wow.
2-1. And then
Boom.
2 minutes goes by. I score 3-1. And then we get like a late power play.
4-1.
And then I scored again, so it was 4-1. So it was like it was over at that point. No, it was.
Wow, that's
You
crazy.
get a hat trick in the final.
I had 2 goals and an assist. Yeah.
That last game was crazy. Yeah,
Yeah. Was there a lot of people there?
Oh yeah, it was packed. It was Estevan, so it was like a smaller rink, but
They must have had like
man.
a minute zone time.
Oh yeah, every
That's
shift.
insane, man.
Every shift.
So do teams still? I mean, if you're really not the same caliber, this is sort of different caliber.
Yeah,
teams.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
They were
that was
the-
smart by him.
They were the OJHL. So at that time,
Yeah.
like obviously the OJ is like good now, but like Brooks is Brooks.
Like,
Yeah,
is
it's
there a
different.
big difference between the leagues,
Yes.
or is there a big difference just between that team and?
No, there's a big difference between the leagues.
There is?
Yeah, I mean Brooks just played Surrey, like the Eagles, and they pumped them 2
Like
games.
with the depth wise, the leagues are not.
Yeah, because you were playing over in Bonneville's there, so that's
It's
the
way
same.
better.
It's
There's NHL scouts.
Bonneville's
watching.
sick too.
Yeah, Bonneville's good.
Hate their rink though. Their rink's
Now, there's a lot of
Sucks.
different, like, they skate you guys, like he said, I remember him, they were going on the ice, they come back
It's a
in
lot.
the morning, then they go back on the ice with the older
Yeah.
Go to the
guys.
gym. No, it's like
or what was it?
ice, like skills and stuff. Gym, power play
Yeah.
in the evening, and then.
Yeah.
So you're on there a lot, you play a lot
You're
more
at the
than
rink
what-
like all day.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
What I
You
love
didn't
is-
get that up in the Noge.
No.
One, because
Maybe a workout
Yeah.
if you get it, but
Yeah.
Is
practice.
it because there's more money in that
Oh yeah, Brooks is loaded.
They're
Brooks is loaded. Like they run it like a
pro team?
they run it
Yeah.
like a pro team. It's like you do the same thing every day. Like
Sick
Monday-
uniforms too.
Oh yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like Monday to Friday you'll do the same thing, like same practice
Mhm.
every single day. So it's like nice, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's which is like I play pro now. It's like weird because it's like you don't know what kind of practice
Yeah.
you're getting. Because
Yeah.
you play like you'll play like on a random
Yeah.
Tuesday and then you'll play on Thursday and it's like you
It
play
changes
so
all the
much.
time.
It's always changing.
Change all the time.
You like barely practice now, but back then it was like more practice in games. So
That's sick, man. So I can't wait to hear the final part of
yeah,
that
there's
story.
more.
But
There's more.
for you, now you play this year. You got 23 goals.
Not
You got
good.
traded from
Peterborough.
Pete's to Owen Sound. What was the trade for? Just for them to acquire some players, or like, do you
I
know
guess-
why, or did you want out of there, or what happened?
I actually didn't want out of there. Okay.
So good. They're good. Peterborough's a good organization.
Yeah, I liked it there. Like my billets were really good, and like just
They were rebuilding.
I've been there for a
though,
couple
right?
years, so it's I'm
And they were rebuilding.
Yeah, and they were rebuilding,
Yeah.
but so I'd play lots. But
So you were surprised. You didn't even know it was going to happen.
no, I was. My parents were worried about my brother not staying in the OHL as an OA spot, but they weren't like worried about me getting traded because like I'm on like a alright team and
Yeah.
playing lots. It's good, but next thing you know, I'm calling the office. Got traded to Owen Sound with Connor Smith, and they got a younger player, so I guess they threw me in there, and Connor Smith's drafted, so that helps a bit.
So what kind of like what do they put you, like? Are you like a third line guy there, second line guy?
In Owen Sound?
Owen Sound, first line.
I started off on the first line, just probably to see how I was as a
Right.
player. And for most of the year, I stayed on the second, sometimes first, and then came playoffs, I was on the third. But I was fine with the third. I was
Yeah, you
playing
do
with good
whatever you got
players.
to do to show yourself, right?
Yeah, like I think I had more points on the third line than playing with the top two lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no
I was
pressure.
fine with that.
No. But you look at like your brother too. Like he's on the first line, but he's not on the power play.
Yeah.
They have a role for him. That's what they want, right? The Hunters say that's the kind of player you're going to be in the NHL, and I don't know. They seem to stick with their kind of system or for that player, and it works.
Yeah, it works. Look at them.
Right? I mean, your brother signed a contract this year, and now you got invited by Pittsburgh to go to their camp. You just random phone call, hey, we want you to come out. Like, how did that?
I actually didn't talk to them. It was my agent
Your
talked to
agent,
them.
yeah.
But
Joe Rasnick, good
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Been there for a
really
long
good
time.
guy. I guess I just got the invite to their development camp and then rookie camp, and I guess you got to make main camp out of rookie camp. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
But
and yet the Leafs. Did you have a talk with them yesterday or today?
no, it was hasn't happened, but
It's gonna happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
And,
The Jimmy's like, I gotta showed up early, wrong time slot. I go, hey, yes, you came at the wrong time. He goes, yeah, that's all right. I got an interview actually with Toronto right now. He's like, oh, no, I don't actually. I don't have an interview with Toronto. I think it's tomorrow, right? So, but Toronto, Shanahan. I work with
Van
Shanny. Van Ryan is a good buddy of mine. He's the assistant coach there, and they're looking for somebody, I think, down the road because Toronto's got that stigma. Not a lot of physical guys, a lot of skill guys,
Yeah.
but you guys have to have that whole, you know.
So if you're hearing this, Toronto, get some.
I mean, I don't
get some credit.
want to go. I want to get drafted.
Yeah, you want to get drafted? Yeah, you're on the
You're on the
draft
draft
list.
Yeah, hopefully that happens, but
So,
I mean,
We'll take
I guess
that.
I got a
We'll take
backup
that
plan.
first.
and Ryan, were you on the draft list?
No, I actually wasn't. My draft year, I wasn't eligible to get drafted in the 20-year-old year.
Yeah, I'm 20 year old.
No, because I was too old.
Yeah, you're signed as a free agent.
Yeah, I just signed.
Yeah.
I signed
He
as a
wasn't
free agent.
out. Yeah,
Yeah, this is where this one gets better. So this guy now goes to Western Michigan as a rookie, and
For any kids watching out there, college hockey is the best time of your life.
it's
Just wanna
amazing,
say
eh?
that.
Because everybody's so fixated on OHL, and I love the OHL too, and that. But I'm going, why wouldn't you want to go to a school?
There's just something about it. It was like every single night, like you show up and like instead of like just random people watching, it was like we had 1,500 like students
Yeah, it's the
at
same
our game every
people,
night. It was
Right, it's amazing.
It was crazy. It was like awesome because like you go to class with like people in the crowd that were watching and like
Yeah.
You talk about the game the next
they
day.
were like, oh my god, man, it's so awesome to see you out
And
there.
unlimited budgets. To do whatever,
Yeah, I
right?
mean like everything you want.
The best of the best.
Oh yeah, it's like they treat you so well there in college. It's like different dynamic too, because like in junior and the OHL and stuff like that, like the oldest guy you're gonna have is like 20, and
Yeah.
the youngest guy you're gonna have is like 16. But in college we had anywhere from like 18 to we had a
23?
We had a 26-year-old on our team when I was playing there.
How does that
Yeah.
happen? I thought you're not. Was it a COVID thing?
It was like I don't think that'll be a thing like much anymore, but because when I went, it was the COVID and then the whole like red shirt thing.
Oh, the
Yeah,
red shirting, yeah.
So you got 2 extra years.
Yeah.
But let's say,
Same action.
how about this? How about if you're playing and you're 20 and you're done, or sorry,
Yeah.
and you stop, you go get a job and you work for 2 years. You go, oh, you know what? Somebody knows this guy wants to play
Yeah.
college. Can they take you at that age?
I think so, as long as you don't have like your too many college courses.
Right.
Like if you're still like eligible to go to college.
But you would be eligible to play the 4 years still from that age?
Depends how many courses you've taken. So
Right.
like, it's all about like the schooling and how much you have done.
But let's say you've taken no courses.
Yeah, and you can play 4 or 5
So you could be
years.
30 years old and play, you think?
Probably.
No, I think 26 is the last.
Gotta be a
26,
cap.
I think. Yeah.
Because you can play 5 years there, right?
It was awesome. Like it was so like tight too. Like everyone was so close. Like it wasn't like the older guys like would like shit on the freshmen.
No, they were good.
No,
Everybody's a
like,
good guy.
Obviously, it's gonna be like a little like they're gonna let the freshmen hear it. Like
Oh yeah.
give us a little shit time to time, but you know, whenever at the end of the day they're gonna make us feel like we're part of the team still.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. Now I still have like a bunch of best friends there. Like one of my best friends lives in Vancouver. He's like 24. Like, he's a great dude, honestly. But
So Ryan goes in, and I think, if I'm wrong, or maybe I'm right, led the rookies or led the league or something.
yeah, so I went and I was like, again, didn't know what to expect either. Like I had a lot of confidence coming from my 20-year-old year in Brooks. I was like, okay, like I'm gonna go in here, like have a good year. But I was like, okay, like, I'm probably gonna be here for like 2 or 3 years. So I ended up going in. And then the first game we had like this trip to Alaska, and I was like, okay, like this is very different. Going to Alaska to play a hockey game right now. And I was like, all right, so
Yeah, the Russians fly by there.
yeah, no, Alaska's very beautiful by the way. If you've never been there,
Is it nice? Yeah.
no, it's nice. But no, I played the first couple games, and then it was like so different to like get adjusted. But I think by game like 8, I was adjusted at that point. I was like, okay, like here we go. We played Notre Dame, and then after the Notre Dame series, I was like, all right, like.
I'm used to this.
I'm used to this now, like,
Yeah.
because at the start it was like everyone was a lot stronger than me and stuff like that, so I was losing battles. But after that, then I wasn't losing battles anymore. So it was you get adjusted. It was an adjustment period, but you figure
Yeah,
it out.
what kind of like style is the NCAA? What kind of is it?
It
Physical.
depends on the team, like honestly, because like we played Michigan. They're not much of like they don't hit that much, but man, they got a lot of skill. Like they're sick, man. Like it was a shock too, because like playing my first game at Yost too, it was a really cool experience because obviously you hear a lot about that rink and stuff like that, but it was cool. And then we ended up playing them at Western Michigan on like Halloween night, and so like it was like a sold out crowd. Everyone was like dressed up in costumes. Like,
So it's sick.
I ended up having a good night too. I had like 2 goals and an assist. We lost in overtime, and then we all like went out and had some fun after. It was so fun.
So
But,
you're accumulating points right from the start of the season.
yeah. So at the start, I think I had. Well, I was leading college hockey in points like 5 games in. I had like 8 points.
Like out of everybody.
Like out of like the whole thing, I was leading.
Crazy. Eh?
I remember that.
December 1st hit, I was still leading, so I had like a bunch of points. But then and then I went on like a little skid after. I had like 5 games with no points, and then I fell to like 3rd or 4th.
But that's gonna happen in
Oh, yeah,
every
that's how it
level.
works, yeah.
No, yeah, that was a lot too. Because in junior, like, don't mean to sound like I'm not bragging,
Yeah.
but I had like 2 games without a point in the whole season.
That's it.
I had 2 games with no points, and then even college too. Like come in, my first like 10 games, I had a point or something like that, and then I was like, okay, like this is great. And then I went on like the 5-game skid, and I was like, okay, what's going on? And then,
But you're getting chances
yeah,
still.
I was still getting a bunch of chances, like setting up guys hitting posts.
Yeah.
I was hitting posts, and I was like, all right, what's going on? And then I ended up having a talk like with one of my line mates. He's like, man, like you're good, like don't worry about it. And then, you know what he said? He says to me, he's like, it's not about how many like points you get, it's about how many chances you get to get one. So like that's what I think about now. He's like, if you're averaging like 5 chances a game, like
you're gonna score eventually.
Yeah, that's what he says. So he's like,
it's a good
you know, if you're not getting points at the time, just like count your chances, you know. So it's like try to get 5 chances a game, you're gonna get one eventually.
Is that what do you still do that?
I still do that. So no, he told me that, and I still do it to this day. So
it's a great way to think.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gotta be one of the hardest things as a skilled guy, because everybody's got pressure
Yeah.
and you'd be scoring points all the time. You go a couple games.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
Especially I know it would bother you guys for
But
sure.
you get like as you play more and more, you get better and better at like dealing with that.
Yeah, no, that was my job too. Like I was first line guy, first power play guy. And,
like right away.
No, my coach was actually like he was an awesome coach. Pat Frischweiler, he played in the NHL. He was sick.
So I had a good connection with him.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
And that's key too. Like
Yeah.
obviously you have to have a good connection.
Yeah,
with the
no,
coach.
he was awesome. I obviously again played with like a sick line that we didn't break up for the whole year, like from training camp. Jason Poland plays in Colorado's system now, and Max Sasson, he's in Vancouver system. He had a sick year in the AHL. He's like 45.
So he's gonna have a shot to go.
Oh yeah, he's like a 45-point guy in the AHL last year. He's unreal, and he's a great dude too.
So the level of play there, much higher pace than Brooks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Brooks was almost like a college team the way they like did stuff though. So I feel like I was adjusted to the pace. I think the strength was like the biggest thing for me.
Guys are strong.
Guys are
They
really
work
strong.
out more,
It's
right?
like you're playing against I was the oldest. I was a 20-year-old. I was like reverse hitting guys. I was like 17-year-olds. I was like, all right, like I'm a big boy in this league, but
It's different.
went up to like college and I was
They're
like, all
men.
right, guys are like 23, 24, and they're leaning on me, and I'm going down. So
And I think I'm right. Like you're working out a lot more than.
Oh yeah, in college you definitely work out like a lot harder too. It's
Yeah.
Play one game or 2 games a week.
We had 2 games on the weekend, and we'd work out like 2 or 3 times
A
depending.
week.
Yeah.
A lot of cleans, a lot of
a lot of that stuff. Different.
Everything calculated, everything
Yeah.
monitored,
Measuring everything every
yeah.
time.
All
How was the
metrics.
gym at Western?
It was really nice. So like it wasn't in our arena. It was like 5 minutes down the road, but like we shared it with like all the sports
Yeah,
teams.
that's
Like
nice.
we walked in, like
Oh, yeah.
volleyball teams in there, and we're like. But, no, it was a good time. It was a good dynamic in there, and you weigh in, weigh out every day, and our guy, his name was Tim. He took it like super serious. He was a great dude too. He wasn't like much of like a hockey guy, but he was a sports guy.
He was there to help.
He trained like all the teams. So like he would train like football,
Yeah.
basketball, baseball. He trained all the teams. So
He was probably the football guy. And
yeah,
you
he was the
get
football
everything.
guy that was like had to do everything
Yeah.
else. But no,
That's usually how they
he's
do
good.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he was a good.
You got a good football. Like they have NCAA.
Yeah,
Division
they're a
right?
D1 football team.
D1.
Yeah, they play in the MAC division, so it's like not one of like the strongest, but it was still fun to like go to those games and stuff.
Oh, 100%.
There was like tailgates.
Did they get a good crowd? Like how many people would go to the football
I
game?
think like 10,000. Yeah,
So
it was a lot of
10,000.
people. Students would get in for free too, so that was like the main part about
Yeah.
like why we always had so many students at our hockey games because like they would get in for free. So.
Ever go to a Michigan game where they have the 100,000?
No, the big house.
Never
No,
done that
I've heard about it though. I got a teammate that told me all about
Gotta
it.
do that. That's on my bucket list for sure.
Yeah.
So now we'll flip OHL. So school every day, practice in the morning.
So we would wake up at like 7:45, work out at like
Left,
8,
yeah.
and then go right to practice. Practice at 9:30 to like 11, and then be done for the day.
And then, but you had the
Class.
homework and stuff, class, right?
Yeah.
So then class till when? Till like.
So like for me, I just did all online because I was like, I didn't really want to go.
So can you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about now, but since it was like the year after COVID,
You
they were
could.
still offering it. So I was like, okay, like I don't even want to go into class. I just want all online. And they're like, okay, you have to do 1 in-person class per semester. And I was like, okay, fine. So I had three online classes, 1 in person.
So let me ask you, is it hard?
I mean, the freshman year, no. So I took like, I
Took
just
easy
said,
courses.
just give me the courses that like the hockey.
To get you back.
Bow and arrow
Yeah.
shooting.
No, I had like dinosaurs was one of my classes. Rock and
Really?
roll.
They
music,
have some
yeah.
funny
They got some good ones for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Got first aid certified as a class. It was
archery.
Yeah, no. And then I had like a business class that was actually hard, but
So are you tired? Is it like you gotta?
yeah, it's like it was different too because I was off school for like 3 years in
Yeah.
Brooks, so I didn't look at anything. So
No,
I was
you
like,
forget a
whatever,
lot of
so
things.
I
eh?
forgot so much,
Yeah.
and I'm like not the greatest at math, so I was like, man, like I'm nervous if I have a math class, like I can't do it. So I
Oh
was
my
like,
god, I'm so bad at math.
no, and then on my online classes, I would just be like chilling in the dorm room with my roommate. Me and him were like super tight, so it was cool.
And the marks have to be up, or they'll get
Oh yeah, they have to be like pretty high, but usually there's like guys that help you that have done the
Yeah.
classes before and stuff like that.
So they make sure that
Yeah, it was
everybody's.
fun, it was
But if
fun.
you're, let's say you're not doing that good in school, are they on?
They'll call you in, yeah. Like
Call
they'll call you. The coaches will call you into the office and be like, "What's going on? Like, why are you not doing funny?" Because I don't know if he would like that I say this, but Sasson, my line mate, he knew that he was gonna sign in Vancouver, so he's like, "Okay, I'm not doing the school anymore." And then we were on the bus one day, and I was sitting beside him, and our coach texts him and says, "Get up here, we need to talk." And I was like, "What do you think that is?" And he goes, "Oh, I know exactly what it is."
Failing.
And he's like showing me his marks, and I'm like, "Oh man." We were actually going for like hibachi that day, and then the coach like pulls him aside at the dinner, and he's like, "What are you doing, man? Like, why are you not doing your classes?" And he's like, "Oh, it's my bad. I'll get on it." And we ended up leaving, so he's like, "Whatever."
But that's a tough thing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If that was me, I'd probably do the same.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't like school. I don't
Man,
like school.
I got in trouble too because like the year I put up a lot of points that year. I had like 49. I think I was 6th or 7th in the country.
49 points in what? How many games?
49 and 39. So I was upset I did not get one more, but 49 and 39, and then I was like debating on going back so much, and it was like so hard for me to make that decision. And then at the end of the day, I decided to come out and sign with Florida. And then I still had, so I went to Charlotte after I signed with Florida for just like a little experience playing the NHL at the end of the year. So I was there, and I was still like in second semester at my school, and I was just like, and the guys would like chirp me when I would open the laptop and like get on the school.
Oh man.
And so I was just like, all right, like
That's
I'm
enough.
not gonna do it anymore. And then my coach texted me, he's like, "Come on, man, like seriously," because they actually care about it because like it's for their average, like the school average.
Yeah, it brings it down.
So I brought the school average down, and I didn't know, and I felt bad, and I was like, oh shit.
Well, you probably brought it down by like .0000002.
My first semester I did really well. I think I had like a 95 average, like doing super well. I took easy classes, of course, but had that average. And then my second semester, I think my average was like a 38. It was bad. It wasn't good.
So the difference in the OHL, okay, you guys are on the road a lot, busing it. You gotta do your homework on the bus. Or do you guys go to school in the morning? Do you guys get up and skate in the morning? Do you have the older guys skating in the morning, younger guys in the afternoon, or the whole team in the afternoon?
It's so you when I was in school, it was you wake up, go to school around like 8:50, then you're out of school around like 11:20. You go right to the gym, work out for an hour.
I want that job.
Go get something to eat, go to the rink for video on ice, and then once you come off ice, the day's over
That's
around
it?
like 3, and that's about it.
That's it, eh? So
Yeah.
this is the same like that. So is that because I remember the older guys used to come in the morning. So the vets, the guys who were done school, get on the ice if they wanted to, shoot some pucks.
Yeah, if you're done school, you can do that.
And then at 3 o'clock in the 2 o'clock in the afternoon, then the players would, like the whole team would start showing up. Young guys, old guys, skate with the team. So it's changed a bit. And this is 2005, so it's been a while for me.
But,
So that's changed now.
yeah, and
Do some teams skate everybody in the morning, or is it the OHL have a rule where it's like this the system now?
like sometimes, like say we have a game on a Thursday night, that's our usual game nights in Peterborough. Like older guys that have morning skate, but younger guys wouldn't.
No.
We'd have morning video, but the younger guys wouldn't.
Yeah.
Right.
If you didn't go to
Really?
school, yeah.
Are they on you guys if you're with class and that?
Not as much. They just want you passing, Billy.
Right.
If you're failing a class.
Yeah, of course they're gonna address it. They have like a personnel part of the team that I don't know what they're called, but they definitely go around and say, "Hey, gotta get your marks up, right?"
Yeah, like an academic advisor or whatever it is
Yeah.
called, but she'll help you out, or they'll help you out, or whatever. But yeah, just gotta be passive, or
Kudos
if
to you
you're
guys.
failing a class.
I
then
hated
you're-
school. I don't like. That's why I didn't go play university football because I just couldn't. I just wouldn't be able to register. Like I can learn visually or like by audio, but like sitting there and looking at books are very difficult, man.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you're tired, you're training all the time, right? Like it's hard, man.
It is.
Football guys have even harder than you guys would have in hockey.
Yeah, they train.
I
They train really
think
hard.
their requirements for grades are pretty low, though.
Yeah, they might be.
Very, 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 very on the low side.
Like this past year, and once out in Peterborough, it was just I didn't go to school once. Like I'll take classes next year because there's a lot of downtime at night when you're done at 3 o'clock. Got much to do except play video games or whatever.
Yeah, what is there to do in Owen Sound?
Yeah.
Not a lot, eh?
Go to someone's house to play like poker
That's it.
or whatever, but
Brooks, where was that? Is that a big city or no?
No.
Small place.
Like the town had like 11,000.
Like, what's the bar? There's the hotel or what?
Yeah, it is.
Really?
It's called the Brooks Hotel.
Like I'm being seriously.
No, there
so
was
it'd be
no-
like something
there was-
like Seaforth or something.
There was
like
no bar there, so it'd be
Nothing.
like when we'd win on like Saturday nights. But actually, like our coach didn't let us go out that much because it would depend on who we beat. Because it was like obviously our team was like super good, but if we would beat like let's say the Calgary Canucks at the time on a Saturday night, because like they were okay. They were bad. We'd win. We'd win like we'd win like 11-0,
Yeah.
and then we'd be like, "Can we go out?" And
Okay.
like all the captains would like sneak in his room and be like, can we have a night?" And he's like, "No, you guys beat the Calgary Canucks."
That doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah. And then like when we beat like Sherwood Park or Bonneville at home on Saturday,
Sherwood was good.
then we'd like sneak.
Who are the top 3 teams out there usually?
When I was playing, it was us. Spruce Grove was really good. Sherwood Park, Bonneville was good. Like Okotoks is always usually pretty good.
Yeah.
Blackfalds is good now, but all those teams went to the.
Like they're the teams that are they still the same? Is it still the same kind of teams that are
Yeah,
always
the same top teams are the top teams. But actually, Calgary's good now in the AJ, I guess. But I don't know how they would be good. Calgary's a good spot.
Yeah,
Big place.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
it there. But
And then-
no, the town's so tiny. Like whenever we would get together on a Saturday, it'd just be like we'd go to like a billet house and all of us would hang out.
guys
Yeah.
would party, like have a little fun there
There's
or
like
whatever, right?
no girls there, nothing. Like it
I
was,
was up in
it
Pembroke,
was just the boys.
right on the like river,
Yeah.
and it was just nothing to do there.
No.
So everybody would just go to the captain's house. He actually played in Sarnia.
That's our Sting.
Yeah,
What was his name?
can't remember.
No.
No.
There was a couple places in
Too many concussions.
Pembroke. There was a couple places in Pembroke that you guys.
You just go hang out.
That Greek guy's restaurant that we know,
The Greek.
the Greek guy.
Oh yeah.
Remember he had that place up there. But yeah, there's some like when you were in Red Lake.
Oh
nothing.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Zero.
Like negative. It'd be like negative.
Yeah. And the lady that he had building him, like she was a really single lady, old school. They wouldn't. She
Yeah.
wouldn't let you guys
I'm not even
know
gonna
and
say it.
stuff.
I'm not gonna say it.
Mason's called me. He's like, I gotta get out of
And
here.
then you go to Western Michigan, and it was
Awesome.
Yeah.
the best time.
So you had NHL teams talking to you through the year, or were they?
Yeah. So I mean, when you get to college, and then I was just like a freshman or sophomore, there's like a bunch of teams like looking at you and stuff like that. But at first, like it kind of like came to like a shock to me a little bit. Like I was like,
You're blown away
Yeah,
that
it's like,
somebody's
wow,
talking
this
to
is
me.
happening.
How early were they talking to you?
like the first call I got was from the Devils called me like very early on in the year. And I was like, wow, this is so awesome. That was like I think like 8 games in or something like that, so
Motivate,
like super early. And then us just like kept the momentum going, started doing really well. And then my agent now, it's a great guy, I love him. And he's just like, yeah, like all these teams are calling me about you, like stay focused, just do this, and then we'll talk about it like at the end of the year. And I was like, okay, cool. So I ended up having like a bunch of teams to choose from, and then I just picked the best spot I thought was for me. And
Yeah.
that was Florida.
Based
so.
on and Florida's a skilled team. A lot of they
Yeah,
like that kind
yeah.
of play, right?
Cup final.
Yeah,
back-to-back
cup
years.
finals are
You
good.
can't beat the taxes over there, and you can't beat the atmosphere.
We got a Florida, and then Pairs is on Edmonton.
There's
Right
a
now,
chance
both
to
in the
Florida
final.
was actually talking to him,
Yeah.
so that's kind of weird
Yeah,
that
no, it's,
Edmonton and Florida won in pairs.
yeah.
But
Pull your
like
thing out there.
this year,
Keeps falling out.
is it out of your ear or what?
Hey,
I still hear you.
I think it got cut under my foot, and then it came out.
But so then Ryan signs a contract, and I don't know the contract types, but what's it called when you're
Entry level.
Entry-level
It was
contract
Like the
deal,
rookie
right?
contract. So it's 3 years, yeah. So
finally got some money in your pocket?
a little bit, yeah, a little bit.
So then, this year, you went. I actually watched training camp. You had
Yeah.
a great training
Yeah,
camp in Florida. Yeah, the exhibition games,
Yep.
and then obviously got sent down to Charlotte, and another new experience for you there.
Yeah, I mean, my experience when I went out to like Fort Lauderdale, I was like blown away. I was like, this is amazing. Florida treated the prospects so well at the dev camp and stuff like that. And then they brought us up for main camp again, and that was like a surreal experience for the first time. Like you're skating with like guys like Kachuk and Markov and Reinhardt.
How good's Barkov? Is he good or what?
He's unbelievable, man. He's a special player. Like
And your
watch that
goalie
guy.
there,
Bobrovsky, yeah, he's a great dude too. He's awesome, but no, it was like definitely so cool to like be on the ice with those guys for the first time, and now it's like those guys get the chance to be like I got the chance to be those guys' teammates in a couple of years. Like, it's so cool. Like even playing like.
So level of play from American Hockey League, college to the American Hockey League.
Yeah, it's
what's
big
the difference?
too. Like I think the jump's definitely bigger there than the jump from like junior to college.
It's huge.
It's definitely big because it's like in college you still got guys that were in junior that are like okay, like you're playing against guys that squeaked by and end up in college,
but nobody squeaked by here.
No one squeaks by to get in the American Hockey League, man. It's everybody there's one of the best players on their team before they came there.
Yeah.
It's everybody's really good, and then the level from the American Hockey League to the NHL is even bigger.
Right now, how far of a is it a drive from Charlotte to Florida? If you get called
Charlotte
up?
to Florida is like 8-hour drive, but like usually
They would fly.
They fly us, yeah. They pay for our flight down and stuff like that. So yeah, no, they definitely treat us.
Charlotte rink's nice.
Yeah, it's a very old rink. But
They draw.
Yeah, they get a pretty good amount of fans. Like, I mean, the rink's huge, but it doesn't look big. But I think we get like 4,000.
What's the who would draw the biggest in like
In the
top
American?
3 teams?
Hershey.
Yeah.
Hershey.
They
Still,
got-
right?
My first pro game was actually against Hershey in Hershey.
And
It
who's
was, like,
there? Is it Boston?
Capitals.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
Hershey Bears. So
Yeah.
they're going for a back-to-back Calder Cup. It was my first pro game. I like did my rookie lap or whatever it was in front of like 11,000 people.
11,000
Yeah,
people.
it was crazy.
So they could probably have an NHL team in Hershey. You think?
Yeah, they get a lot of support, but not the town for it though.
No.
The town's
Is it
super
small or?
Pretty small. It's like it's where Hershey's chocolate was like originally.
That's
the
where-
chocolate
okay.
factories there and stuff like that. But
Is it? It would be as big as London or no? Like 400,000
No,
people.
no. London's bigger, but Hershey's alright.
You guys play the Marlies? What about them?
We played the Marlies twice this year at the Coke.
Decent crowd?
In Toronto. Yeah, pretty good. It was cool to play there though. My parents came for that game.
Yeah, they got to watch.
Yeah.
They came down a few times.
Yeah, they came down to Charlotte a couple times. Charlotte's like a really nice city. It's like super like upscale now, businessy. It's nice. Yeah.
That's amazing story, man. For me, like for all those kids out there that we were just saying that, there's a lot of pressure on hockey.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
hockey's everything for us here. In the States, it's football, and I'm sure they get the pressure from
Yeah,
their
no doubt,
parents over
no
there.
doubt.
But I just see a lot of guys getting really upset and worked up and stuff like that. And I guess Ryan, if you were to say anything to a young guy growing up who maybe didn't get drafted this year, what would you kind of give him for
I
advice?
mean, it's not the end of the world. I mean, there's so many options nowadays that you don't even.
100%.
If you don't get drafted to OHL, you don't have to think about it too much. Just keep working, and I say if you're good, they'll find you.
They'll find you.
They'll find you wherever you are. So.
Yeah, they're finding guys. Like you said, there was always NHL guys, scouts at Bonneville
They're everywhere,
practices and stuff like that.
They'll find you.
There's eyes everywhere.
So you got some work to do. He's here for the month, and you're gonna give her heck until the end of the month, and then hopefully come back for the rest of the summer. But
hopefully the draft.
hope you get drafted, man.
Me
It's
too.
gonna be a dream come true for
Oh yeah.
That
the
camp's sweet. That camp's
Rubric brothers we got.
Yeah.
Hopefully they make it, and you guys got the McCue brothers that
Yeah.
really shot.
Yeah. We gotta get you.
We gotta get Baxi back in the
We
gym.
gotta get
Oh,
back
yeah.
back in the gym,
Yeah.
chirping people.
Yeah.
How is he in the gym? He
works-
must be loud.
He works
He works hard.
He walks
He
around.
works hard. He
and
must be like loud.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if he'll be less loud though. It's not Pears, because Pears is the kind of like Pears is a good guy. He's funny. He'll joke around and everything. But I wonder if he'll be like.
But Pears has a pro presence where you're like, you look at it and like he's seen some stuff and he's like not gonna put up with stuff. But Max is a hard worker.
Max likes to hear himself talk. But
He's genuine. He is who he is.
Yeah.
Hold on, 2 bars.
It's charisma.
100%.
he's a great guy.
Level 10 charisma.
But guys, that's a great story. We appreciate you guys coming on the show today, and hopefully the next chapter is going to be an interview when you're signing up and actually playing with Florida, which I know you can do, Ryan. Put a good summer in this year, and then
For sure.
it's in your hands after
Big
that,
summer.
Ryan.
Big
You too,
summer.
buddy.
Thank you.
You get to see how the summer's gonna go.
Yeah.
You'll have a good summer.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.